Hey guys, welcome in. I think while I'm getting the Instagram post going every week or every time I do this, I need to get a cool song going or some music or something. I'll have to look into the AI generated thing. Like Blabbing About Slabbing has a great intro that seems to change weekly. Maybe I can get some cool AI something or another. Anyways, welcome in. And today we are going to talk about football cards to buy. I've been getting a lot of messages. Hey, who are you buying? What are you buying? As if you're following my Instagram posts, my daily pickups, you're going to see that I have been buying an absolute ton of rookie ticket autos. I love buying rookie ticket autos in this time of year. Typically March, April, and early May is the best time of year to buy football, get them graded, get them back in time for mid to late summer when football starts heating up. The rookie ticket autos, there's only going to be, matter of fact, I don't think there are any on my top list today for you guys, simply because the rookie ticket autos are boom or bust. I like to give you guys plays where if you get a PSA 9, you're breaking even, or maybe it's a $5 or $10 loss, but it's not going to kill you. Whereas these rookie ticket autos, although they sell, the reason I like doing them is if they do get a 9, they still sell very well in a 9 because people will collect PSA 9 rookie ticket autos. However, oftentimes you can lose a whole entire grading fee, 20, $25 if you get a 9. But the reason I like doing it is because as the boom or bust, you also get the huge, big risk, big reward. So the PSA 10s are generally well worth the risk for me for the rookie ticket autos. So typically I give you plays that I am doing. I am not doing the rookie ticket auto plays for you guys just because a little bit more risk involved. If you want some rookie ticket auto plays, let me know. I can send some to you. But what we're going to do today, hey, welcome in, Mark. Welcome in, Joel. What we're going to do today is we are going to talk about the top 10 because I've been getting an overwhelming amount of people messaging me about 2024 Prizm Football. What should you do? I've made it very clear that 2024 Prizm is not something that I was pursuing because the gem rates are too bad. However, I had two local guys that do all their grading through me. I've got about a half a dozen guys that do grading through me. And the two local guys were insistent on, they wanted to do 2024 Prizm. So it really made me focus on what plays they could do that would be profitable for them. So their grades just popped. We sent them in. I did this play for them about 2 months ago. The grades just popped on both of their orders. And I must have had a pretty good eye when I was submitting them because both of them are right around 50% gem rates. So they're both going to make a good amount of money on 2024 Prizm. So with everybody asking me about 2024 Prizm, I decided that I would go back to the well and I would look at what I would consider with gem rates and risk and all that, the top 10 2024 Prizm cards to buy to try and make money on. I also wanted to do, because I'm getting a lot of people as to what cards to buy, I did a top 10 non-2024 Prizm, so they could be anything, football cards to buy. I tried to make sure that I got different players. I only have one duplicate in the other 10, so there's 9 different players in that 10 card range. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I think that there's some good money to be made here. And let's just dive in and get started. Joel is saying WWE and live golf to the moon. I'm not chasing that, but I know Joel is getting into it, and I hope you do real well with it, Joel. All right, let's get started here. We're gonna go to the first card up here. First card up is a 2019 Kyler Murray Prizm. This is the silver Prizm. As you can see, the raw most recent sale was $51. The PSA 9 sells for $110. The PSA 10 sells for $140. Now, the PSA 9 sale is a little bit skewed, as most of the PSA 9s have been selling in that $80 to $100 range. And then there was that one kind of jumped way off the chart here recently. But that said, you can double to triple your money depending upon a 9 or a 10. It does have a 34% gem rate. And I'm going to show you guys something that maybe you don't know. Welcome in, YOLO. I'm going to show you something towards the end here that maybe you guys don't know. When I get a lot of questions about when I'm talking about grading older cards, yeah, but the gem rates aren't good. They don't gem anymore. People talk about the nonsense of population control, which I think is total nonsense. A lot of people believe in it. I don't. But I'm going to show you something in Market Movers. If you're a Market Movers person, you will be able to see what I can see, and it's kind of a cool thing. I've never shown it to anybody before. Market Movers has had it there for a long time, but I'm going to show it to you guys so you can, if you're a Market Movers person, you'll be able to see what I see, and I think you're going to find it real neat. And it shows all of the 10s as of recently for the gem rates. All right. Anyways, $51, 23 sales in the last 30 days. So about one a day. The 30-day average is $50. So it's right on that average. You can see a couple of them spiked all the way up to $120. A couple of them got all the way down into the $20 range. So this card is all over the board. In terms of $20 to $120, but the average is $50, and it's certainly a card worth chasing if you're looking at making some money. Kyler Murray is a player that I think is going to have a good year. I do think that you will see a boost in both him and Marvin Harrison Jr. this year. I think they're both going to take a step forward. So, all right, let's go to the next one. We're starting with the 10 cards that are not 2024 Prizm, just so you're aware where we're starting here. All right, so number 9 is Josh Allen. So Josh Allen's rookie cards can get pretty expensive. Not everybody can afford them. This is a card that's affordable. It's a way for you to get a Josh Allen rookie card without breaking the bank. And it's also a way for you to get a Josh Allen and get in on some of the hype for him, as well as potentially making some money on him. So Josh Allen, this is the 2018 Prizm Instant Impact. It's an insert card. The most recent sale is $33. As you can see, it was a pretty flat line. One jumped up a little bit, one jumped down. The 30-day average is $40 because of that one that jumped up. There have been 4 sales, so about one a week is what they're selling at. A PSA 9 is $70. So you're going to break even on a PSA 9, and a PSA 10 is $183. So a nice chance for you to 3 to 4x your money on a card here that is a very attractive card. Hey, good morning, Shane. Welcome in. We are going over top 10 football cards to buy raw and grade right now, as well as the top 10 2024 Prizm cards, which are the harder to grade because gem rates, but I created a list of 2024 Prizm based on everybody asking me which cards they can grade. So, all right. Next up is none other than Mr. Justin Jefferson. This is a purple shock. This is a color match. I love this card for this reason, because it is a color match. 2020 is not that old. It's a great draft class for quarterbacks as well as stars. This last sale was $41. There have been 5 sales in the last 30 days because of that one peak sale that hit $100. You can see the 30-day average is $64, but that's not really a good indication of where this card is. When you look at the last 3 sales, $55, $45, and $41. So you should be able to get this card sub $50. A PSA 9 is $70. So again, it's a break even on a PSA 9, but a PSA 10 is $200. So a nice little 4x of your money on that. 2024 Prizm has been brutal. I'm reading, Shane is just saying 2024 here. You know what? Let me put this up on the thing for everybody. 2024 Prizm has been brutal, but I have had success with the flashback cards, as those have white backs, have gem to Penix, no huddle. Hey, congratulations. The top 10 Prizm cards that I'm going to talk about are almost all insert cards. So spoiler alert, yes, the gem rates are really low. Most of the cards that you can do well with decent gem rates are the inserts. So I agree with you there on that, Shane. So I am going to quickly here update. I have a card missing here from my my list, but all right, we'll move on to the next one. I'll circle back to it. All right, so next up, we are going to take a look at, let's see what we got next up. The next one should be a Jordan Love. And it should be another color match. So here we go. This is a Jordan Love. So as you guys know, my infinity, my affection for color match cards. So I'm giving some of these to you. 2020 Optic Green Velocity, Jordan Love, $80 most recent sale, 4 sales in the last 30 days. So again, about 1 per week. The 30-day average is a little bit under where its last sale was, $70. 60 to $80 is kind of where you're going to find this card fluctuating. And you can make money if you can buy it in that range. So a PSA 9 is 110. So if you pay 80, you're still breaking even on a PSA 9. PSA 10 is $200. So you're going to do a little better than a double up on your money if you end up getting a 10. And Jordan Love is another player that I believe is going to have a good season. A little bit of a homer pick for me, as obviously being from Wisconsin, loving the Green Bay Packers. I have a little bit of a homerness there. But anyways, all right, let's go to the next one. We are going to go to this one here is Derrick Henry. All right. Derrick Henry, 2016 Silver Prizm, or they call it a Prizm in 2016. So if you're searching on eBay, search Prizm or Silver Prizm. Either way, they should show up. Most recent sale, $16.98. 8 sales in the last 30 days. So about 2 per week. The 30-day average is quite a bit higher. The 30-day average is $36. As you can see, this last sale really kind of fell off the map. I would expect to spend closer to that 30-day average, somewhere in that $30 to $40 range. A PSA 9 most recent sale was $67. So you're going to about break even if you spend around $35 on a PSA 9. You should come close to breaking even. However, on a PSA 10, $233, you're going to 5x your money. And this is the card that I wanted to show you something. Here, let me see if I can do this. So I was going to show you guys. I think I need to go here. All right, now present. I'm gonna see, it should be this one right here. Yep. All right. All right, guys. So here's what I'm going to show you guys. Share screen. All right. So in Market Movers 2016, Silver Henry. All right. So when you go to the PS, so when you're looking at the cards, guys, where it says pop, the pop, if anybody's ever noticed this, where it says pop, and they're talking about the pop counts, whether it's a PSA 9, a BGS 7, whatever, as long as there's enough to have a pop count, they have it listed. When you click on the pop count, guys, this you can look back and look at the population growth. So in the last year, this card, you can now see how many PSA 10s. So in the last year, it started at 342 and ended at 395. So this card had 53 PSA 10s added to the pop count in 2024. Well, or in the last calendar year from April to April. So I wanted to show you this because this is kind of a cool slide when people say, yeah, but can you still get gem rates or gem on these older cards? You absolutely can. 50 of them have been added. 50 of them have been added to the pop count in the last year. So I wanted to debunk the myth that you can't get PSA 10s on older cards. So go to Market Movers, click on the pop link, and you can adjust last 30 days, 7 days, whatever you want to do, and see how many of these cards are still getting PSA 10s. Hey, welcome in. We got the Football Card Quest. I believe that's my buddy Andy has just joined us. If you guys don't know about the Football Card Quest, what are you doing? Great podcast. I follow him. Very knowledgeable about football cards. So if you aren't following Football Card Quest, go give him a follow right now. Great content over there on that channel. All right. So next up, we are going to talk about, so I hope that made sense with the pop counts. But anyways, let's get back to some football plays here. Next card up that we're going to talk about is the CJ Stroud. This is the Blue Scope. Most recent sale was $18. As you can see, this has a trend line left to right. It's going down. That makes it a great time to be buying into CJ Stroud cards right now if his cards are dipping. So 3 sales in the last 30 days, so about 1 every 10 day. A little bit harder card to come by. 30-day average is $36. You are okay paying $36 if you need to, because a PSA 9 sells for $60. So even if you got to pay up a little bit for it, you're still going to break even on a PSA 9. If you can get it around that last comp in the $20 range, you're going to make money on a PSA 9. PSA 10 sells for $150. So you're going to get a nice 4 to 5x return on your money if you can get a PSA 10. So that is another fun card to go after. All right. Next up, we have a 2017 Patrick Mahomes. So as I mentioned, guys, I'm trying to give you a different, instead of just doing a bunch of cards of all the same player. In this top 10 list, you're getting 10 different, well, actually 9 different, because there's a one duplicate. You're getting 9 different players that you can go after their cards and try and make money on them between now and the national or early preseason, because if it takes 4 months to get your cards back now from PSA, buying them and getting them in the next 2 to 3 weeks is critical, and you should have them back in great time for when the cards start to spike around the national and preseason hype early August. All right, so getting into a Patrick Mahomes, I was torn between putting his silver Prizm on, which has a much lower gem rate, but you can make a lot more money on it. Costs a lot more to get into, but his silver is also another option, just a little bit more expensive. But a Patrick Mahomes, the rookies, Don Russ, the rookies. This card has a pretty good gem rate. $165 is all it takes to get into this Patrick Mahomes card in raw condition. There have been 6 sales of this in the last 30 days. So even though it's an older card, the card is not impossible to come by. 6 sales in the last 30 days. And if you look at the graph, 5 of the sales have come in the last 14 days. So this card is on the internet. You can find this card. The 30-day average is $180. So you might have to pay up. You can see one went for just a little over 200. A couple of them are down in that $170, $80 range. Just try and stay in that $175 to $200 range. You'll be just fine. A PSA 9, guys, sells for $337. So this card is, if you can afford it and you can get a 9, this card, you can almost double your money on a PSA 9. So the risk is not that high. If you get a PSA 8, you're going to be out on your grading fees, because a PSA 8 sells for about $180. So you're going to be out your grading fees and your eBay selling fees. But if you get a nice looking card, this card gems pretty well. 557 out of 1,233 cards. So it's got about a 41% gem rate. And again, this card has gemmed in the last year. If you go back to Market Movers with what I just showed you, you can see that this card is still getting gems on a consistent basis. So this is a card that you can still make money on. If you get a PSA 10, guys, it's $830. So $200 investment, 4x your money, get an $800 card, or almost double your money, pick up $100 plus on a PSA 9. I love this play if you are a Patrick Mahomes fan, or if you can spend that kind of money on making some plays instead of some of these cheaper ones that we're doing. All right. Next up, we have Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, the card I picked for Joe Burrow, normally, as you know, I like the color match cards. I wanted to try and give you something that was affordable, achievable, and had a high gem rate. So this card, most recent sale, $45. 5 sales in the last 30 days, so about 1 per week. The 30-day average is $55. So as you can see, again, great time to be buying into Joe Burrow, as on this card at least, the chart is going from left to right. It is increasingly getting lower and lower. Now is the time, guys, to be going out, if you believe in Joe Burrow, to go out and buy his cards. This card here, if you get a PSA 9, it's $86. So even if you have to pay the 30-day average, you're still going to bust even on a PSA 9, which is why I like this card. And in a PSA 10, it's $203. So you're going to 4x your money. And that's at today's current rates, guys. As I'm talking about these football card plays, other than when we get to the 2024 Prizm, because those cards are still kind of coming down, those are a little bit trickier plays. These top 10 plays that I'm giving you for the older cards, these cards should all, in theory, go up between now and the football season, when you're going to get them back from PSA. So these should be some really great plays for you guys to make some money on. All right. Give me 1 second here now, because I have to find the there's a Saquon Barkley play here, and for whatever reason, it's not in order. I hate it when things get out of order, guys. All right, let's go. All right, here's the Saquon Barkley. So next up, Saquon Barkley. This is the optic base. Not a real expensive card. Barkley's going to have a lot of hype, as are the Eagles going into next year. They're going to try and run it back, see if they can do it again. They kept most of their key pieces. I think the Eagles have a very legitimate shot of running it back again this year. This card, most recent sale was $28. The 30-day average is also $28. So even though the chart's going up and down, average is about $28 to $30. 19 sales in the last 30 days. So this card sells, for being a card that's 7 years old, this card is selling quite often, 19 times in the last 30 days. That's several times per week. PSA 9, $49. So this is the one card where you're going to lose at a PSA 9, you're going to lose about $5 plus you're going to lose your eBay fees. So you could end up losing $10, $12, maybe $15 if you get a PSA 9 on this card. But the upside is there. On a PSA 10, it's $139. So again, a nice 3 to 4x of your money. And I do think that you're going to see Saquon Barkley cards go up between now and the time you get these back from PSA. So I think you can jump into that with confidence. All right, now let's see here. I think we're going to start with the 2024 Prizm cards. As I mentioned, these are going to be 10 cards. Only one of them is a repeat. There are 2 Bo Nix cards on here. However, everything else, I'm going to give you 9 different players. And there's a couple of them that are their regular card. Most of these are inserts because the standard cards don't have great gem rates. I'm going to start with the card with the worst gem rate on here, but I put it on here because the upside of this card, I think, outweighs the risk. And it's not real expensive to get into. So I think if you could buy 3, 4, 5 of these, you'll probably get at least 110, and then it pays for itself. So this is a play where you might want to make multiple plays on this card. It is Malik Neighbors Silver Prizm card 370. Most recent sale is $16.83. There have been 173 sales in the last 30 days. So as you can see, as we get into the modern cards, the Prizms that just released, 3 months ago, the 30-day sales counts are going to be enormous on these cards because they're very popular. They just came out and they still haven't settled in at their floor. So that makes these a little bit more risky because what are the prices going to look like 3, 4 months from now when you get your cards back from PSA? But enough people wanted it, so you requested it. I'm giving it to you. Here are the top 10 plays for 2024 Prizm. All right, so on this card, PSA 9, $40. So $16 to buy it. You got your grading fees. You're going to break even, maybe lose your eBay fees on a PSA 9. However, the upside on this card is a PSA 10, $238. I do expect that probably to settle in closer to 150 by the time you get these cards back. However, it's still a very good return, 3, 4, 5x your money, depending upon where the price of this card is when you get this card back from PSA. So Malik Neighbors Silver Prizm, it does have a 24% gem rate. So that is the lowest rate of any card that you're going to see for the 2024 Prizms. I don't like sharing that low of a gem rate, but I thought with the upside of $200, it was worth it. All right. Next card up is the 2024 Prizm Green Wave Bo Nix. So this card is not an insert card. However, Being a green wave, it has a 34% gem rate, so I put it on here. $21 is the most recent sale, 128 sales in the last 30 days. So again, a lot of sales. The 30-day average is $32. So again, as you can see, the last 5 sales have been on their way down as this card is kind of settling into where it's going to be moving forward. PSA 9 is currently $120 and a PSA 10 is $190. Again, I would expect this card to be in that $125, $150 range 4 months from now, but still making a nice profit on this card as you go. All right, next up, let's take a look at, we're going to take a look at Ladd McConkey. This is his silver Prizm, 36% gem rate. So again, better than the average for 2024. This is his standard card. This is not an insert either. Only $10.59 right now to get into a Ladd McConkey silver Prizm. 147 sales in the last 30 days. The 30-day average is $10.92. So this card is kind of already leveling off at $10. I think that that's pretty close. $8 to $10 is where this card is still going to be for the type of player that he is for a silver Prizm in 90 days, whatever, 3 months, 3 to 4 months when we get these back from PSA. A PSA 9 is $45. So again, you're right on the cusp of losing your eBay fees at a PSA 9. However, a PSA 10 is $104. I would expect that probably to be in the $75 to $80 range probably by the time the season rolls around. But a big preseason game and that could spike up as well. So I think that this is Ladd McConkey's best card to go after right now if you're going to do 2024 Prizms. All right, next card up is J.J. McCarthy, 2024 Prizm. This is the Fireworks insert card. This is also the No Huddle edition. $7.50. Only 13 sales in the last 30 days. So the thing I like about some of these inserts, they're a little bit harder to find. So therefore, they should hold value a little bit longer. About one every other day. The 30-day average is $12, which is $5 higher than what it is right now. However, you can see the last 5 sales, again, are heading in the downward trajectory. I think this card is going to settle in that $5 to $8 range between now and the time the summer rolls around. PSA 9 is $49. So pay $10. You're actually going to make profit, a small profit, but a profit on a PSA 9. PSA 10 is $135. So you're going to make a real nice rate of return on a PSA 10. It does have a 33% gem rate. So this is a card that you can go out and buy multiples of for $7 to $10 and have a real nice rate of return. 1 out of 3 is going to triple to quadruple your money. So this is another card. If you're going to do it, I would try and buy as many as you could. It increases your chances of profitability when you submit that bulk play. All right, next up we have Bo Nix. So this is the only repeat in the top 10 Prizm cards. Bo Nix, as you saw before, was the green wave. This is the prismatic green wave. So the other one was his standard card green wave. This is the prismatic green wave. This card's only $4.96. The 30-day average is $6. So $4 to $6 is what you can get this card for. I think this card is going to settle in real close to that $3, $4, $5, $6 range. And a PSA 9 last sale was $32. So buy it for $5. Again, you're going to come close to breaking even on a PSA 9. PSA 10 is $73. So you're going to triple your money, double to triple your money on a PSA 10. I do think that Bo Nix is, when people ask me who are the players that I think have a good chance of making some big profits on early in the season, I think Bo Nix, Drake May, JJ McCarthy, those three are players that could really pop off early. I also like, with Ben Johnson going to the Chicago, I love this year. I was high on Caleb Williams last year. I'm even higher on Caleb Williams this year. Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze. I think that those two guys could really pop off early in the season. Their schedule is that to where they have some good matchups early on, and I think Ben Johnson is gonna do wonders with these guys. So I really like those guys moving forward as well. All right, let's take a look at another one here. We are going to pull up. Speaking of Caleb Williams, right on cue, here he is. The Fireworks No Huddle. As you can see, the last two have spiked way up. The card, but that's just because the one card here got really cheap. Somebody got one for 99 cents. When I went and looked at this listing, it did not say no huddle. So somebody listed it incorrectly, even though it wasn't no huddle. So sometimes, guys, you can look at people listing their cards, not knowing what they have on eBay, and getting yourself a steal, as somebody did there for 99 cents. But the 30-day average is $13. The last sale was $16. Try and get this $12, $15, $16 range, and you should do just fine with it. This card in a PSA 9, $35. So if you spend $15, you get a PSA 9, you're going to be out $5 plus your eBay fees. So this is a little bit riskier card in that regards. However, it does have a 53% gem rate. I forgot to mention the Green Wave Prismatic Bo Nix had a 50% gem rate. But 53% gem rate, and a PSA 10's currently $178. So buying a card for $12, $15, getting it graded, having $40 in it, and getting a $175 return, that is a huge rate of return. I expect this card will probably drop down to that $125 range. But still, if you're buying it and you're going to have $40 invested and you can get a return of $100 to $150 in August, this is a card, again, I would be buying multiples of and trying to make this play over and over and over again. Hey, Ryan, haven't seen you in a while. Welcome in. Hope things are going well for you, buddy. All right. This one snuck in. So in the top 10 cards, we're gonna go backwards here. I knew I missed the Jalen Hurts card in the top 10 non-2024 Prizm. I don't know how it got mixed in with my 2024 cards. But anyways, Jalen Hurts 2020 Optic. This is the pink variation. Most recent sale, $27. The 30-day average is $36. A PSA 9 on this sells for $65. So you can spend $35 and still break even on a PSA 9. A PSA 10 is $121. It has a 58% gem rate. So this card works real well. All right, let's get back to some 2024 Prizm. Sorry, that one jumped out of order, guys. All right. Next up, we have Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels could have a monster year. I really like, for Washington players, I really like going after their receivers. I think that a little bit of a sneaky play there. But anyways, Jaden Daniels, 2024. This is the Prismatic Green Wave. $14.75 most recent sale, 82 sales again. So very common card on eBay. You can buy as many as you want, not have to worry about it. The 30-day average is $14. So it's holding pretty steady. Figure on spending $15 a card and buying multiples of these. PSA 9 sells for $50, so you're going to break even on a PSA 9. The PSA 10 is $153. So you're going to get a really nice 4x of your money on this card in a PSA 10. It does have a 47% gem rate, and I think Jaden Daniels is going to be super hot coming into the season. So I think this is, again, if you're going to make this play, try and make this play in bulk. Ryan pulled some nice ones out of retail yesterday. Yeah, the retail is available, so breaking open some blaster boxes might not be the worst way to go. So you don't have to worry about somebody's cast-offs on eBay. That's certainly not a bad way to go. Oops, what am I doing here? Somehow Barkley wants to stay on the list here. We're going to get rid of Barkley, and we're going to go to the next play. I believe we have 4 plays left here for the 2024 Prizm. All right, next up is, no, we did Malik Neighbors already too. Didn't delete that one. Boy, you'd think this was my first day running a show here, guys. All right, here we go. 2024 Prizm fireworks again. The fireworks are popular and they sell well, which is why you're seeing several fireworks on here. This one is the green ice, not the green wave. This is Drake May. I think Drake May is going to have a bust out year. I really like Drake May. I like the pieces that they're putting around him. Would be interesting to see how the draft goes, but Drake May, $10.69 for the green ice, 32 sales, so about 1 a day. $7 is the 30-day average, so $10 is actually up from the 30-day average, but I think that you are just fine getting this card in a $7 to $10 range. Most recent sale on a PSA 9 was $41. So if you can get it at the 30-day average, you break even. If you got to spend 10 or 11 bucks, you might lose $3 or $4 or $5 on a PSA 9. However, the PSA 10 is currently selling for $100. So you're going to get yourself a nice look at about a 3x of your money on a PSA 10. And that does have, believe it or not, a 66% gem rate right now. That is the highest gem rate of any quality player that I was able to find for the 2024 class. The gem rate on that is fantastic. Ryan was saying he pulled a JJ Orange Disco and a Brian Thomas out of 99. Hey, those are 2 great cards. Get those, send them in and get them graded just in time for the season now with PSA's 4-month return. Hopefully PSA gets it figured out and gets this sent back quicker. But anyways, all right. Joe Burrow. Did we cover this play already? We covered this play already, didn't we? Yeah, we did. I'm going to get rid of Joe Burrow. So we have 2 2024 plays left. All right. We have a 2024. So here's the Michael Penix card. This is his green wave. This is not an insert card. This is his regular card. It's a green wave. $21 is the most recent sale, and the 30-day average is 19. So right around 20 bucks, you should be able to get them. There's 116 of them on the sales in the last 30 days. So this is a card that you can find very easily. A PSA 9 sold for $65. So you're actually going to have a small profit on a PSA 9 if those prices hold. And a PSA 10 was $188. So a really nice rate of return if you can get a 10. And it's a 44% gem rate. So again, a very high gem rate compared to the standard 2024 Prizm so far. The only Prizm card that was the non-insert cards that had a higher gem rate than some of these was, I didn't put it on the list, but Ricky Pearsall's pink, that had a 67% gem rate. So if you're a 49er lover and you want to get some Ricky Pearsall, that in 2024 does have a high gem rate as well. I just didn't put it down because it only had 3 transactions, and I wanted to give you guys some more liquid options here. All right, the last card of the day is 2024 Prizm Laser Rome Odunze. As you heard me say before, I am very high on Odunze. I think he is going to have a bust out year. He had a great college career, and I think you are going to see Odunze and Caleb Williams take a huge jump up this year under the tutelage of Ben Johnson. Right now, this card last sale was $4. The 30-day average is roughly $5. The PSA 9 sells for 30, so about a break even on a PSA 9. The PSA 10 is $70, so 2.5, 3xing of your money. I found a lot of these. A guy that had a lot of these. I just bought 5 of these for $25 last night. So I'm going to try and make this play. I believe in Rome Odunze. I absolutely hate the Chicago Bears being a Milwaukee or a Green Bay Packer fan. However, I just think that the Bears are going to really have a huge jump up this year. So, all right, there you have it, guys. Thanks for watching. 10 football plays to make 10 top 10 2024 Prizm based on return on investment and gem rates. Keep the questions coming. You'll see me back. We'll probably be talking a lot of football moving forward. And we'll keep the plays coming. Again, PSA slowing down 3 to 4 month returns. They sped up there for a while. I had 5 returns that I got back in the last 2 weeks. And I've got grades that have popped on 2 other orders. As you guys know, I always send in I send in at least 1 submission every Wednesday. And I have 5 or 6 local guys that grade through me. So it's not all my cards, but sending in a lot of cards for grading. I've got a huge order going out today. I'm going to break it into 3 separate orders because the smaller orders, here's a tip. 2 tips for you on PSA. If you can package your bulk order with a higher tier order, one that has a faster turnaround time, the cards do get checked in quicker. Don't know if they make it through grading any quicker, but they do get checked into stage to research and development much quicker. So I think that it does help. I do think it goes a little quicker. So if you can package a higher tier level grading submission with your bulk plays, I think that helps. The other thing is, my experience is when I keep submissions to 30 cards or less, they tend to go much faster than they do when I have a 50, 70, 100, 200 card submission. So what I do, like today, I've got about 70 cards I'm sending in. I'm going to break it up into 3 separate submissions. And then I have 1 higher tier, a 14-day turnaround card that I'm going to submit with these. So there'll be 4 submissions going in one box. It saves a little bit on shipping. It gets the cards checked in a little quicker. Hopefully I get them back a little quicker. But that is my PSA tip of the week for you guys. Hope everything is going well for you. Mark is asking if I'm going to dabble in optic. Yes, I have 2 hobby box football optic hobby boxes ordered from Dick's. I missed the pre-sale when they came out, so I was able to get them ordered from Dick's. The Dick's has been a great resource for me in getting cards. I got a bunch of WNBA Prizm boxes from there. I missed out on the Topps Heritage High Series drop from Fanatics and from Topps, but I was able to get those ordered direct from Dick's. And then I got some of the blaster boxes coming from Fanatics. So the Dick's is a great resource for getting cards. Unfortunately, Dick's, the cards do come about a month to a month and a half after everybody else gets their orders to come out. So it's a way for you to get them, not have to pay stupid secondary prices. However, they do come a little late. So To answer your question, Mark, I have 2 hobby boxes coming, but from what I'm seeing, it looks like I am not going to get them until end of May, early June. So getting those cards and getting them graded, unless they come up with a faster grading special, those cards will probably not make it back from PSA in time for the beginning of the season. So I'm not real sure what I'm going to do with that. So thanks for the question. All right, guys, that's going to wrap this week. Thanks for watching. As always, keep the questions coming. Message me anytime you want. Advice is always free. The streams will be up on Instagram for about 30 days. If you miss it and you want to watch it, you can head over to my YouTube's channel. Everything is Chalks_cards. They are on YouTube. As long as you want, you can go back and watch previous episodes as well. So, all right, guys, thanks again. Have a great week. I will see you next time.